Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Simple Stories Saturdays. And for this layout I'm using the Let's Go range. It's a lovely travel range and for some reason I'd not actually used it before, so this is all brand new stashed to me. So I'm just having a look through. I've printed 8 photographs on my selfie, 4 on each 6x4, so you can get the idea of the size of them. I'm not sure how many of the 8 I want to use, not all 8, but I wanted to see what they look like at this size. So I'm picked 2 papers that I really like the look at, that I think I might layer at the top, and I'm just cutting into the tag sheet now to add some layers behind the top photos. I'm thinking of building a vertical line of photos and embellishments. I'm feeling a bit generous because I've got so much of this range and I've never used it before, that I'm going to work my way through it all and have a look what takes my fancy to add to this layout. I'd like it to have a bit of a chaotic look, and that reminds me of the night the photos were taken. So if you see me piling on lots of stuff, hopefully I'll refine it by the time I stick it all down, but I want to give that, in my mind, that sort of feel of lots of hustle and bustle. So first of all, I'll tell you a bit about the photographs, and we'll talk about Simple Stories Saturdays. So these photographs were only taken at the start of February. We were in Vietnam and we decided to brave a scooter tour of Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City. Something that was recommended to me by my cousin, and I have to say I put on my big girl pants and I got on the back of a scooter with a local, all organised through a app, and my husband did the same, and we actually had a lady on another moped who organised the tour, who had brilliant English and took us to some really great places, because I wanted to see the city by night, see all the lights. And we went to a rooftop bar and we went through a tunnel on the back of these bikes. Now, if you don't know Vietnam very well, and I didn't till we got there, it is full of mopeds, absolutely millions of them, and I'm not exaggerating. If there's they joke, if there's 10 million people in the city, there's literally 10 million bikes. You can't walk on the pavements for all the bikes that are parked there. Nobody owns a car. The moment it rains, they all throw on ponchos and they just carry on. It's fabulous to see, and it was an experience that to get amongst the traffic at that low level and weave in and out. I mean, they don't go very fast, thank goodness. That probably really would have shook me up, but I have been on mopeds, but not for a good few years. So, and I've never actually driven one. So being a pillion passenger, yeah, it was an absolutely fab time. And that is why I'm scrapping these photos so quickly. I came back and was thinking, what ranges have I got from Simple Stories? And the organisation that we went with, their t-shirts are orange, their helmets are orange. And I remembered that this was an orange and blue range. And I thought, yeah. So enough garbling about my trip on my holiday. So Simple Stories Saturdays is once a month, a group of people on YouTube provide inspiration for you using different Simple Stories ranges. We all use different ones. We don't all use the same one each month or anything like that. The idea is to use up your stash, make the most of it, enjoy it, and have some inspiration. So I will list the rest of the video or the YouTubers below. Do hop round and have a look at some of the others. We've all got really different styles. So I'm just looking at how far I've got. I had 2 tags at the top. I do tuck in a couple more. I swap out one of the 12x12 papers for a 6x8 from that pad. So I'm just looking at ripping the piece for the top, and then I'm going to start to think about sticking this down. At this stage I've got 4 photographs running down that column. I think I do end up with 5 in the finished layout. So I've just flicked the bit I've ripped off and I've added that on the left there with the spots on, and I'm going to add a couple of the orange pieces as well to tie in that orange again. So I'm just trimming the dark paper to go at the top, and my trimmer is on a countertop in my room, and then I'm just going to start to look at pushing all these pieces in. I quite like those oranges on either side. So I like the look of that. I think it also ties in really well with some of the colours that are in the column. Now I'm just going to trim, this is I think photo number 5, and as it's a little bit, there was a bit of wastage in it, so I've actually cut it a bit smaller and I'm putting it onto white cardstock, and just to give it the white border so I can add that in. Because these photos are so small, they were all taken at night, we were moving on these bikes, it doesn't matter that I'm trimming them down a little bit. It just gives a bit more interest that they're not all quite the same size, and also it gives that column ends a little bit more in a point, so it's not so heavy at the bottom. So I've lifted all that off, and I'm going to start to actually put it all back once I've got a few bits trimmed. So this is a We Are Memory Keepers tag punch, or hole punch essentially, perfect for these tags. So I've just punched all the holes in the 4 tags that I've got. So I'm just going to add the dark at the top with some double-sided tape, and then I can add in the other bits underneath. So I just find it easier with a bit of double-sided tape, because then you can move things around, rearrange them if you want to, but it's permanent enough. So I'm just trimming this down, and now it's 12 by 12, so I can start to go back in at the start using those tags as a base. I'm going to start to just move things around a little bit to get them into the position that I want. As I say, I do like the chaotic feel of this with all the bits and pieces, but because there's white space either side, it actually isn't as crazy as it could be, if that makes sense. So I'm bearing that in mind, that I'm trying to keep everything clustered so that actually the white space can help you, like with your eyes, rest. So I'm just trimming down another photo at the top. I just feel it's too big for that tag, and I've added it to some white cardstock, and it will sit a bit better. I want them to overlap, but I don't want to overlap the important things. I like that Born to Travel on that tag on the right. I really like that chipboard. It says This Way to Fun. I thought that was quite good. And obviously there's that little scooter. So there's a key fob and chain as well there, and I'm just adding them bits all in. Right at the very bottom is a luggage tag, and I'm going to add a few words of journaling to that. That's one of the things I'm going to try and do this year, is write on the front of my layouts if I can. I find that really difficult, and I find that I write on the back of the majority of them, particularly if there's a story attached, but I need to start to try and get some of the details on the front. So hopefully you'll see me do that a little bit more. So I'm just bringing in a couple more yellow embellishments because I really like that key fob. So I'm going to add a few yellow bits. So off camera I've stuck those down. I didn't think you needed to watch that all go together. So I brought in these puffy stickers, and I'm going to fill any gaps. There's a couple that could be added to, and that exit here, I quite like that greeny colour, so that matches up with the spots at the top as well. And I will just add a few more little bits and pieces. I've also got some Shenanigans arrows there. That's a 3D embellishment company based in the UK that I run, and I'm just going to add a few of those arrows just to point out some of the highlights of the trip, and I just need a glue dot to stick those down. So I'm just going to add those now. So I'm just going to make sure then that 1, everything is stuck down and it's okay, and 2, that I've not got anything else I want to add. I always get like this when I'm finishing a layout, that I want to have a look, make sure there's no stickers or any puffy stickers that would actually add to something. I always find it a little bit annoying when you see something later on. So that sticker I've just adding says Total Tourist, and that's exactly where we were, and that makes me smile just thinking about it. So that's the finished layout in all its depth. This is the main image and the close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hop round the other guys for Simple Stories Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.